Welcome back to Weeb Advice. On today's episode, we have a special guest. Please welcome the one and only Akai Hado. Akai Hado is a lovely tsundere high school student who loves to play difficult games and engage with the Hatongs. As part of the first generation and one of the most say-so and experienced idols of Hololive. The meaning of her adorable name is Red Heart. That's why Hado-sama has such a big heart for everyone, and we can see in her cute original say-so song called Red Heart. But her story takes place a long time ago. Back in May of 2018, Hololive was just starting creating their own brand of VTubers, and there was an announcement. Covercorp was doing auditions for the first generation of Hololive, and between them, Akai Hado, the tsundere high school girl role. If we take a look at the applicants, there she was, the one who brought Akai Hado to life and another one whom we will talk about in a moment. Since her debut, Hado-sama has been able to produce content playing the most say-so games ever.
My favorite game is Minecraft and Tetris.
Around this time, she also had a special program called Morning Radio where some crazy stuff happened.
Why Japanese people?
The content of Hado-sama is very much what you would expect from a say-so high school student. And as mentioned before, Hado has covered a lot of say-so songs as the proper idol that she is. And if you want more proof of her idol features, she also has done some say-so dancing. And a lot of say-so interactions with the Hatongs. And of course we have some say-so Minecraft. You could see her doing some say-so ASMR cooking. By all means, she is a pure idol that loves to do say-so things and treat her fans properly. The 2nd of June 2018, when she was just starting out, she mostly was doing streams by herself. But then a wild Matsuri appeared to help her out. They even made a collab song back in the day. With Matsuri, Hado was able to be more comfortable being with other members. She also has collaborated with Fubuki in Minecraft streams, and has done collabs with other Holo members such as Luna and Wathame. And with the Psycho Sheep, she had a love story with some level of stalking on Minecraft. Or flirting with Kanata. Or doing 3D collabs with Kaicho. In addition to that, she also has a say-so boyfriend who is kind of shy to the chat, but a nice guy at heart. But we haven't heard of him in a while. Who knows what has happened to him? Anyways, as well as her boyfriend, we know that Hado-sama can be shy too. For example, one of these situations has happened with her senpais because she respects them a lot. And I guess that being one of the youngest members played a big factor on that, such as the time when she was in front of a goddess. And we shouldn't forget that Hado-sama has a lovely friendship with Sarah Hoshikawa. Hoshikawa is one of the ancient relationships that Hado-sama has, and as a fun fact, she also auditioned for the character of Akai Hado. But don't worry, she is doing fine in Nijisanji. But being one of the youngest members on Hololive and a Japanese girl studying abroad has some struggles that Hado had to deal with. She was always trying to find ways to improve her Japanese and English. She made some streams learning some kanjis, and at the same time, she tried to interact with her viewers in English from time to time. But before going furthermore, we need some context of her before the Hololive arc. The Philippines arc. Before being an idol, she was studying abroad in the Philippines, in a high school that, according to Hado, looked like a jail where she couldn't go out because she was underage. Well then, she got hospitalized and she wasn't fluent enough to make an English casual conversation. Because of that, she wasn't confident enough to socialize. And during lunch she had to fight against flies to protect her food. And one time, she ate a cup of ramen with a toothbrush. What a badass. On top of that, she couldn't sleep well and had to be aware of thieves and scammers. But nothing of that mattered to her, because she loved the sugar bread during breakfasts and she could make friends in the first week. Oh, and she loved Jollibee too. But jokes aside, she will always recommend the Philippines for tourism and studying. Hado is someone really committed to what she wants and takes the best out of any situation. But to get more in depth about her struggles, we have to go to the Australia arc. Long story short, she said, "I want to see kangaroos," and well, she went there. She lived with 3 homestays and her experience with them was kind of chaotic. Especially in terms of food, there was no food. Because of that, she was forced to survive with energetic drinks and kimchi. Oh, and I forgot, she also had to learn to cook. On top of all, there were some kids that made fun of her English.
Her English skills are terrible.
言われたこと。
While she was studying in Australia, she was recruited by Hololive. After some months studying there, September of 2019 arrived. Around this time, she was achieving 100k subscribers, and to celebrate that, she took advantage of the school holidays in Australia to travel back to Japan. She made a cover of a Seiso song in a stream thanking everyone.
ありがとう
And she did the same with the Christmas holidays, where she made a 3D collab with Ah-chan, sang some carols and ate a lot of noodles to the point of almost vomiting.
I ate a lot of noodles. I was nearly vomiting.
And don't forget that she participated in the first Hololive Fest, but all of this was just the calm before the storm. On January 25, 2020, she made the last stream before returning back to Australia. Now in Australia again, she stayed in a better homestay.
いやー、今、オーストラリア now.
And then it happened. March of 2020 happened. Wow. You really had a tough journey, Hato-sama. Well then, now let's check what the chat is saying. Huh? Hachima? Who is her? Do you know who they are talking about? Hato? Where did you go? When March of 2020 came in, Hato got stuck in Australia due to lockdowns, so she had to live with no 3D streams. With bad internet, she couldn't stream properly, and of course, it was hard to make collabs, and you can check that most of her streams were at 720p at the time. Her arc development was at the Abyss stage according to Joseph Campbell, and when everything seemed doomed to the arc development of Akai Hato, a hero appeared to save her. Part of the first generation and one of the most crazy idols of Hololive, Hachima is an eccentric high school student who loves to make insane short videos to brainwash the Seiso Hatons. But let's try to give some context. Previously, we have seen little signs of Hachima prior to 2020, but they weren't that relevant. On March 13th of 2020, she made a stream playing Getting Over It, which is funny because Hato played that same game on her first streams, but Hachima did it in a particular way, using her feet.
これ一旦ちょっと自分の足の匂いは嗅いでみましょう。くんかくんか。
And since then, the Hachima arc started to gain traction, or to be more specific, her basement quirk started to manifest more often on stream.
初めて眠った夜はなんか上からなんか虫が降ってきたの。
A month after the feet incident, Hato forced Hachima to do a press conference about it, and this is an interesting plot point for her journey. Hachima is a genius in transmedia content. To make it simple, transmedia is a narrative that you can follow through different platforms and at the same time, involves the audience to participate in. So, why is Hachima a genius doing this? Well, the narrative started when she was sniffing her feet, and then she did the press conference to confess the truth about Hato's feet. She asked for feet videos to the Hatons.
リスナーも巻き込もうじゃないか
And everything went crazy. The insane videos won't stop coming to her, and we all discovered that a lot of the Hatons are really talented.
すげえ
This amazing event happened on May 17th of 2020, but little we knew that all of this was just the start of Hachima's journey. Since then, the usual content of Hato started to make some strange changes, starting off by the cooking streams and the so famous gyozas. Hachima also infected the singing streams in every game she played, but that wasn't enough for her. She added her own content, like insane short videos of her showing off her wisdom.
You don't need to study English because you are Hachima-sama.
And a lot of parody songs with some level of foreshadowing. And with every video, she became more and more unstoppable. She created the Hachima Sunday, where a lot of the stuff happened and the Hatons were, in most cases, the protagonists with their videos or talents. We would see a lot of video contests, Minecraft contests, skills contests, cooking contests, and even hentai art contests. But if I have to choose one of the most intriguing and cursed contests from Hachima, I would say that it was the Dirty Room contest. I mean, I don't have to explain too much about this one, but we have to remember that Hato was still living inside of her. That's why we saw a lot of streams where Hato was the main focus, but the next day, we would see Hachima, or in some cases, we would see them both in the same stream. The other Hollow members noticed this change, but even them couldn't understand her greatness, so she started to spread her knowledge with them. And with that mindset, she showed off to Luna and Kaneden her cooking skills. But all was a plan of Hachima to steal her bodies by a limited time during her 2D model update stream. Even the Psycho Sheep couldn't understand completely what she was into. And if we talk about one of her best friends, Hoshikawa was also afraid of her.
Hachama or Akai Hato. Maybe Akai Hato is my friend. Yeah. Not Hachama. I don't know her. I don't know Hachama.
But more importantly, she infected every Hatten with the Hachima disease. But don't worry, she took responsibility for that. The master plan and mindset was that if everyone is infected, there is no one to say sorry to. And finally, during all of this months of 2020, Hachima gained a lot of power. So much power to finally unleash her 100% of power and take over Hato's channel. And then it happened. September 9th of 2020 happened. On that day humanity received a grim reminder. The first rule to understand Hachima is that you don't. And as proof of that, the name of Hato's channel changed to Hachima. 1 month later, Hachima was so powerful that she got enough EXP to evolve to her true form. On the 26th of October she showed us her new appearance. 2020 was Hachima's year to become stronger. But that was not an easy task either. Hachima shares the same body with Hato after all. Being in the middle of a global health situation and stuck in Australia has its pros like Hachima's awakening, but this also was Hachima's way to deal with limited ideas to work with. And to make this even worse, Hachima's persona was locked on by Hato's persona. So the transition from Hato to Hachima was a long road to walk. From my personal perspective and interpretation, she appeared because of Hato's struggles, because as the strong idol that she is, she awakened to protect Hato in her worst times. Even though the way that she proceeded with her plan was kind of concerning at times. During this time, we also have to remember that Koka's journey was peaking. And then, the English branch appeared. Hachima was not the only one to know English anymore. All of that made her self-conscious about her identity on Hololive.
Hachima never really felt like her identity was all about speaking English, but she knew that back then a lot of Hololive viewers felt that way, that Hachima has like this English-speaking identity and that is her character.
This affected Hato and Hachima equally, and being in conflict with her place on Hololive and at the same time, having to deal with Hato and Hachima persona didn't make her journey easier. But as we mentioned, Hato is a genius making the best out of any situation.
So, Hachima was like, I understand everything. Yeah, and she said, if that is so, then I will make use of this situation and opportunity and just go crazy and do whatever the hell I want.
December came in like a lamb and Hachima returned to Japan after graduating from high school in Australia. She was so happy and every Hatten was so proud of her, because they can be pigs sometimes, but in reality, everyone treats Hachima as her daughter or sister. But that was not the end of her journey. Hachima became strong because of Australia. But when she came back to Japan on December 16th of 2020, that caused a narrative dissonance in the universe, making the old Hato regain her power. But Hachima was too strong already, so during early 2021, they fought each other to death, starting the Hachima vs Hato arc. But then, she destroyed Hato, but it was at this moment that we discovered that they share the same body. So Hato was still alive, with no more options. She had to make her disappear, and with a pro gamer move of her, Hato tricked Hachima to sing Faded, and little by little, Hachima started to disappear, until there was no Hachima anymore.
No!
Meanwhile,
I'm still crying. I want Hachima back. Hachima? Who is Hachima again?
Huh? Am I alive? How is that possible? Chat, what's going on? Coexist? What's that? Oh, I get it now. Hachima cannot disappear. It is impossible for a universe to exist without Hachima and Hato. Hachima is the genius of transmedia that she is. Created 3 hashtags, and with coexist, the fight ended. They arrange an agreement to make the best content possible. Now, jokes and lore aside, her journey is one about self-understanding. Hato has shown us how you can make the best out of any situation, while Hachima has shown us how you should be proud of your true self. And even if we have our own big flaws, we can try to have a sincere talk with our own selves to recognize them and improve them. And we can appreciate that in the lyrics of her second original song called Infinity, where the lyrics explore some details of her lore, but it's much more than that. It's a song dedicated to herself and to anyone who is in a similar position. A song about finding our own self. And if there is something that Hato and Hachima are similar to each other, is that both of them are truly committed to their goals. One of their dreams is to become a seiyuu and to make an anime or a movie. In that sense, the Hachima series is a way to train her writing and voice acting skills. But that's not all. The Babelchama Tower was such a long and big project that she did almost by herself. And even if YouTube tried to censor her and had to go on hiatus on multiple occasions, nothing of that stopped her from creating more content. In addition to that, she also wants to improve her English to be worthy of being part of Hololive N0. Because after all, she was the first one in Hololive to interact with English speakers. She was the one who envisioned the international bridge. And if we consider that Coco was the one who built that bridge, Muna the one who made it popular among the Holo members, Hato and Hachima were the masterminds behind the blueprint of that bridge with the English community. Because we must remember that Coco was inspired by Hato to audition to Hololive.
私でもそしたら頑張ってもいいんだっていう場所をね、なんていうか、これもしかして私もそういう場所に入りたいなって思わせてくれたのはじゃなくて赤いハート先輩だったんですよ。
And as a funny fact, who would have thought that Hachima would have inherited the Reddit meme review? Who would have thought that someone that didn't even know what a meme was a year ago would inherit such power?
It's a meme. What's the meme?
But as we know, after 2020 and everything that she had to confront, her body was strong enough to inherit such responsibility. And now she is the new host of the show, and we know that when a new host arrives, a new universe of possibilities for content creation appears. Because at the end, Coco and Hachima share the same objective, being a symbol of entertainment. Hachima is the idol that is so committed to everything she does. The one who is committed to improving her English, committed to improve her cooking skills, committed to be a seiyuu, committed to improve her writing skills, committed to make an anime, committed to be the best idol, committed to be an entertainment symbol, and above all, committed to be the best version of herself. That's the essence of Hato, Hachima, Lalachama, Red Kun, Godchama, Arachama, and any other persona that is residing inside of Akai Hato, the strongest idol ever. Wait, my mistake. The most committed human to be the strongest college student. That's just her.